Okay, I was at home and I looked out to the window and there was a car. Uh, I saw a car outside. It wasn't in the driveway, it was kind of like out in the yard. And I've got like woods all the way around the house, mostly. It's just like, you know, kind of like secluded type of place. And I thought that was odd. It wasn't in the driveway. I thought, who is that? And I kept watching and, nobody got out, come to the door or anything. And so I thought, maybe I'll teach this person a lesson. So I thought, I'll crawl out the window into the backyard and sneak out to the woods and then go all the way around the woods to where the car was. The car was not too far from the edge of the woods. I'll crawl all around and sneak around to where the car is and then get down and crawl up to the car. And I took my fist and I banged on the side of the door real hard. And then for a while nothing happened, and then the car cranked up, and so I moved back a little bit, and the car took off. Uh, so then I started back toward the house, and then someone come walking up and said, that was a police officer in that car. And I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, and you know, you're lucky they didn't do anything. And I said, well, maybe I better go apologize. So I walk into this place. It's kind of like a restaurant, and I forgot to say I recognized her. She recognized me. It was a female police officer, but I forgot to say too. The car was like plainclothes color, plain like a unmarked, right? Because it didn't look like a police car, and she was wearing regular, like civilian clothes. So I walk in, and she's sitting at a table, like a booth or a table. So I walk in, and she turns her head, and she sees me. She recognizes me. So I walk right up to her, and I say, I'd like to apologize. I didn't know you were a police officer. And she said, oh, really? And I said, yeah. So, you know, sorry. And so I turn around, and I start to walk away. I kind of like say over my shoulder as I'm walking away, oh, by the way, thanks for not shooting me. And that's the end of the dream. So kind of a odd kind of dream, but just wonder what Duane would have to say about that.
So you're still here, Randy, so she didn't shoot you.
Yeah.
Is that the idea? She didn't shoot you. Did you
Well,
say that? Thank you for not shooting me.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of like a joke, really more than anything. But yeah, I guess I was just kind of being sarcastic.
Well, you went through all that process to go through all that. Now look at your story. You get more chances at this, so you had time to consider. Once you found out that it's a police officer, okay, so you took all that time to go down to the station, whatever, and so you could have made something up like, oh, I thought you were here for the Skype meeting where we sing you. You see? So again, your literal mind goes literal, but your real awareness can be creative and take advantage of these situations at any time. You see? So in other words, be ready. That's the fun part. Yeah, see? They make things up. This world is all made up. You can make things up too. So again, see, you've been trained to think along your literal mind, thinking that, oh, I have to tell the truth according to their truth that they taught me. You see? So much for truth. Doesn't mean anything. Everybody has their own truth, and it's all literalized, one dimensional. So, this is where you be creative and you step aside from that literal mind. You see? So you can do anything at any time. And what you do is, as you learn to focus on the isness, you learn to see what to do next that benefits yourself and everyone else, etc. That's in that reference, you see, instead of just whatever you did according to your literalized mind frame system, you see?
Okay. You're saying like let go of restrictions.
Well, in other words, learn to be creative. All
Okay,
right.
gotcha.
So you decide your restrictions. See, again, you're thinking in literal terms. So you have to practice this to be ready. Like secret agents and whatever. Like I'm sure you've seen spy movies or whatever, especially a lot of the movies on Netflix where there's spies involved, whatever. I mean, any second, these people react. They're usually beating somebody else up. That's not the idea. The idea is to, be ready to be more aware and take advantage of the situation because it's going to help you. You see, but if you're thinking along the same lines, it's like, well, I want to say the right thing and this and that. I don't. I have Skypes all over the world, and I tell them like it is, and that's how it is. Because again, nothing's set in stone, and so as you're just mimicking the system. But again, you had that chance. Now you can objectively view that. If you were to redo that, now what you see is that you see that scene again. You see that whole scene that you went through, and now you can rework it any way you want. You're the movie maker. So you could have done that. You could have tapped on the window and said, "Hi, are you here for the the Skype meeting to sing to you?" See, you could have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't think of doing it in the dream, but yeah.
that's just it. It's the thinking. Learn to see what to
Uh,
do. See, that's your real awareness. That's the difference. See, once you've set into motion the idea, then you basically think along that idea, but actually with your awareness, you can learn to see what else to do, what else there is, and life will provide. In other words, I just look into the unknown. I just don't think nothing. I just walk around as every moment is new. I don't want to carry anything and just see what's going to happen next. It's like whatever. I hear things, people tell me things, but I'm not concerned. If I decide to agree with it or look at that, fine. But for the most part, no, because usually a bunch of nonsense, just words. And so I like to see what's going to show up and what to be able to do with that, if anything. Sometimes yes, sometimes it's later, and sometimes I forget because I have this personal self here. But that's the fun part, and this is where you decide how to train yourself. You see, you are the decider. So again, when you tell the story like that and you had a reaction, you had feelings, you felt awkward, whatever, and that's okay. Now you can objectively see all that and you can rework that to your advantage to where at the same time you can share something beneficial that helps everyone, you see? But you decide how you're going to do that. Yeah, no, thank you
uh,
for sharing. So it's
uh,
not a put down. It's just that
yeah.
it's like a block of clay. You just rework it. So if you squash the clay and you tried to make a person or a figurine or something, but you didn't like it, you can squash it back again and start over. You see, you can do that. There's no rules. See, again, they've taught us, this is our upbringing and our restrictive education indoctrination to think a certain way along the restrictive lines, how we've been mind framed and programmed. And you don't have to. You don't have to at all. This is why the three-letter words bother people, because that refers to the isness. All the three-letter words refer to the isness. And that bothers the personal mind because it wants to hold on to its one-dimensional restrictive position, thinking that it knows something. And it doesn't know anything at all. It doesn't realize that yet. It has to be taught that. So that's
Oh,
up to you, the real you, to teach your personal self something better. That's all up to you now. You see, it's the guidance simply gives you the hint, but you got to do it.
what do you mean by three-letter words?
All is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, that bothers the system, people, etc., because they're literalized. And there's many languages in the world. Look at Russian. Can you figure that out? Does that bother people? No, it doesn't bother them because they just think, oh, well, that's the Russian language. It's not the same as English. But the three-letter words bother people. They think there's something wrong with me. Well, they don't realize that there's something wrong with them. But that's up to them to figure that out. So, for the most part, people feel good, they feel happy, they feel secure when they agree with the system that restricts them. So you decide how you're going to learn about the restrictiveness that you're in right now, every moment. And you can always make it fun. See, you can always make it fun. I talk to these people all the time. Talk to the policeman down here in Mexico. Told him what I was doing. We end up shaking hands. Yeah. I just tell them, yeah, be prepared because things are going to happen. And that's what we're doing here. We're preparing people to be okay, not to just agree to the system. See, as long as your life is going okay, but when the alarm sets off, all of a sudden, for the most part, the personal self is going to panic and not know what to do. It's going to go along with the system and it's going to run with the crowd into where? More captivity, FEMA camps, whatever. That's real. That's all being set up. So you decide if you're going to take the risk and see things differently, but you have to practice that every single moment. That's all up to you. And you can do that on your own. You do not need a college degree.